Welcome to Full Frontal. You know, for some reason, our staff of nerdy feminists and diminutive Jews don't pay much attention to the world of sport. We're so unathletic, the captain of our softball team pulled a hamstring tweeting. But last week was an exception, as the worlds of sport and free speech collided again.
For months, ESPN has faced criticism for mixing liberal politics and sports, and now one of its hosts, under fire anchor Jemele Hill, tweeted, quote, "Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists."
They're alienating their core audience, which is guys and girls who just want to pop a beer and watch a football game.
Yes, how dare Jemele Hill bring up the issue of race when ESPN fans just want to be entertained by black men giving each other brain damage? And speaking of brain damage, guess who chimed in?
Trump fired back at the network saying this, tweeting, ESPN is paying a really big price for its politics and bad programming. People are dumping it in record numbers. Apologize for untruth.
Apologize for untruth. ESPN still hasn't apologized for giving Skip Bayless a career. Trust me, that is funny. Thank you. White supremacist doesn't mean you're a character in American History X. It means your words and actions reveal a certain attitude about where people rank by shade.
If you own a business that attempts to keep black people from renting from you, if you are reported to say that you don't want black people counting your money, if your response to the first black president is that they weren't born in this country, if you say they weren't smart enough to go to Harvard Law School and demand to see their grades, if that's the essence of your entire political identity, you might be a white supremacist.
And if nearly half the country voted for him after he did all those things, America might be white supremacist, or at least white supremacist curious. Some Trump supporters disputed Jemele's thesis by typing the N-word at her until their fingers hurt. So many tweets calling her the N-word. I'm disappointed. You really need to balance those out with more tweets calling her the C-word. It's called intersectionality. Meanwhile, ESPN's rivals at Fox Sports oozed out of their studios to stand up for everything our nation holds dear.
I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I believe in only two things completely: the First Amendment and boobs.
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly as a woman anchoring the show. Did you say, what did you just say? You believe in the First Amendment and BWBS?
Boobs. Two things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history: the First Amendment and boobs.
Okay, in that case, let me put this message to you in a way you can understand. Go fuck yourself. I hate to break it to you, but boobs have finally let you down, because that dynamite rack is actually some old guy's pale, saggy ass. So enjoy your confused AAA battery-sized boner, Clay. But the most offensive response to Jemele Hill's tweets came from the president's own government-paid mouthpiece.
That's one of the more outrageous comments that anyone could make, and certainly something that I think is a fireable offense by ESPN.
A fireable offense? Woman, just because you want to get fired from your shitty job doesn't mean you can demand someone else be fired from hers. You know, it's great to know where the White House stands on Jemele Hill's personal tweets, though it would be even more great if we knew where it stood on David Duke's tweets. Fun fact, the government isn't supposed to retaliate against citizens for stating their opinions. It's in the Constitution, right above the part that guarantees you the right to fornicate with your guns or something. Could someone who has read the Constitution please go down to Washington and explain the First Amendment to Sarah? Oh, that was quick. Violet J, why do we have freedom of speech?
Taking away somebody's opinion is no different than sewing their butthole shut. Do you want to sew a man's butthole shut? I mean, I might want to watch what happens and fast forward, but I don't want to do the actual sewing. The point is, fuck discrimination, right?
Can I agree with you and still not want to go to your Etsy store? The Juggalos gathered in Washington Saturday to protest the FBI's labeling them a loosely organized hybrid gang in their 2011 National Gang Threat Assessment.
This whole FBI gang list bullshit, we're doing it the only way we know how to do it, and that's to march on Washington and all up the government's bitch ass. You hate the Insane Clown Posse? What if your band is next? What if all of a sudden you're on the gang database and you're labeled an official gang member because you listen to that music you love?
My God, that insane clown is right. If they outlawed being a Flock of Seagulls fan, I'd be fucked. Then the only friends I'd have left would be my fellow Crips. So it was on all our behalves that Shaggy, Two Dope, and Violent J stood at the Lincoln Memorial and channeled the oratory of Dr. Martin Luther King. Specifically, they channeled it into a can of Faygo and F-bombs.
Discrimination! Fuck that! What? I'm not gay, but I would fucking march for the right for two gay people to marry each other if they wanted.
Well, that should make coming out conversations a lot more interesting. The gathering was peaceful, although one marcher did engage in some extremely ugly hate speech against the Bureau. But who can blame them when you hear their stories of police harassment?
I am not a gang member. I have never been convicted of a crime. My 2 children were taken from me, physical custody, because I showed up to one concert. One concert. Fuck that shit! Fuck that shit! Fuck that shit!
That is why ICP and the ACLU have filed a motion of fuck that shit in federal court challenging the FBI's gang designation.
Our highly skilled, immensely educated, superior thinking, and psychological warfare weapons expert master attorney, the Jugga-lawyer, Ferris, will explain the bone in detail.
What's up, ninjas? It's Ferris, the Jugga-lawyer. I'm here to explain all the drama.
Who's loosely organized now? Whoop, whoop. Look, I'm no Jugga-lawyer, but nothing I saw on that mall fit the profile of gangster.
We're the good guys here today. Real shit. You can feel it in your gut. We're the good guys. We're actually in the right this time.
Even he sounds surprised, but he's right. Because making it a crime to like certain music is a really bad idea. And you know what? Our founding fathers thought so too. We'll be right back.